All right, presented by Litify. I'm Bill Biggs, and this is once again transforming the culture of law, the beginning of season 2. Wow, could not be more excited to join all of you. Really excited about our guests this coming season, and we're going to really kick it off right out of the gate with one of the best, Dov Slansky. Man, you are one of the many studs at Litify, one of the guys and gals that has made it happen. You guys have experienced a lot of tremendous growth. One thing that we talk about here at Transforming the Culture of Law is that we exist for the purpose of increasing and elevating the leadership ability of our listeners and our watchers. We want to help people create culture in their firms, in their organizations, that improve lives for the better. And we believe that when we do that, that when we elevate leadership, we help them create great culture, which transfers to the clients, that at the end of the day, we're going to make these firms and we're going to make these organizations more profitable. Litify, you guys have certainly been profitable, a lot of great things going on. So Dov Slansky, who's the Vice President of Strategy Innovation at Litify. Dov, tell us what's going on. Great to see you. Tell us how things are going at Litify.
Appreciate you having me here, Bill. It's really a treat. I know you've had a couple of really high-profile guests last year, so excited to help kick things off here, and looking forward to more of the really great discussion around that culture of law, leadership, and what law firms and legal operations folks can be doing to improve that. So appreciate you having me here. And we've been busy, man. It was a good 2022. 2023 has really kicked off with a bang. It's been exciting, and I'm excited to dive into a couple of the topics we have here to discuss.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited for you to have you as well, Dov. And you say we've had some high-profile guests, but none any more high-profile than you, man. I mean, everybody knows Dov, and everybody loves Dov. That's incredible. That says a lot about you and who you are and how you lead and the culture you try to instill in your team. Hey, I want to talk right off the bat, Dov, kind of the elephant in the room. It's been out in the media now for a few weeks. Litify has just made a giant step in partnership with Bessemer Venture Partners. Tell us about that. Tell us what that means for Litify and how that relationship developed.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Bill. It's really tremendous. Tremendous, obviously, for Litify. Working with Bessemer has been incredible over the last couple of months here. But it's also really, I think, really incredible for the entire legal technology industry, right? Technology in general right now is going through it. Legal tech is strong, and I think the investment that Bessemer has made in us speaks volumes, not just about the success and the work that we've put in. It speaks about the success of our customers, the law firms and legal departments who have chosen to use Litify to really continue to grow and get a better handle on their operations. And it speaks to the way that they view the legal technology sector as a whole. It's growing. It's here to stay. It's going to get bigger and better. They're obviously one of the biggest venture capital firms out there that does this kind of investing. So we're incredibly blessed to work with them, and they've really been tremendous to work with. Everybody that we've worked with has really been a tremendous asset to us as we continue to grow.
Yeah, I couldn't be more happy for you guys, and I know Bessemer is probably thrilled about the partnership, as are the folks at Litify. One of the things, and this podcast exemplifies that, one of the things that I've been so thankful for about Litify is that you guys have seen the need not only to be a tech company, not only to be a company that's in the legal space, but you said culture, leadership, people are at the core of this thing. And we want to see people's lives improve. We want to see culture within the organizations that we work with and within our own organization be a hallmark of who we are. So let's talk about that a little bit, Dov. From your observation, your time now, both in tech and legal, now in legal tech, what have you learned? What have you seen regarding culture and leadership that you guys are applying and kind of living off of at Litify?
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear it's gotten a lot better, right? If you sort of look back and you see it used to just be people who were great lawyers, but that's all they were doing. And then over the last couple of years, obviously world events have helped to bring this on a little bit more quickly, but we've started to see culture be incredibly important. I think law firms, for many reasons, are old school. They're old fashioned, right? You come to an office,
Sure.
a lot of them still have lots of books and lots of mahogany in the offices.
Well said.
But the last couple of years have accelerated the fact that they need to catch up and work like the rest of the businesses out there. And I think legal technology is helping them along that, whether it's giving them tools to let them work remotely, it's giving them tools to better collaborate and communicate, not only with their staff, but also with their customers and their clients. That culture has really been changing to be one that is caught up. So caring about your people, making sure that they have the tools they need and the access they need to work, collaborating really closely, even if you're not sitting across a giant mahogany conference table from them, right? But in ways that you can really work together. Those are some of the changes that we've really seen. And obviously technology helps, right? It's, whether it's a phone or it's an email, it's Slack, it's Microsoft Teams, it's Zoom, it's Litify, obviously, but there's the proliferation of technology that these law firms are now adopting and are using is bringing them closer to not only their clients, which is always the goal. You want to have better client service, better
Sure.
client satisfaction, but the outcome, which maybe they didn't predict, but is certainly well known and certainly they're chasing right now, is the outcome has brought them closer to their people and has allowed them to get a better handle on the folks who work for them, give them a better experience at work, and do a better job leading them into the work that they do with their clients.
That's so good, Dov. And that's something that we talk about here a lot at Transforming the Culture of Law. One of my favorite leadership mantras, right? Love your people, demand high performance. You mentioned it there just a moment ago. You said care for your people. This allows this growth of really powerful technology is literally allowing leaders, it's allowing teams to love their teams better. It's allowing the leaders to be more in touch, more connected in a world now that is spread out a lot in the sense geographically. People are working from home, people are working from across the ocean. And so having solid technology and being able to communicate at a high level is truly allowing our teams, our leaders, to communicate with their teams in a way to love their people and also to keep track of metrics, to have accountability, to have a culture of excellence developed where through the communication, you can keep the relationship solid. You can get to know someone, even though it might be across the ocean. And because of things like Litify, you guys are able to, and you are enabling the rest of us, right, to have a level of visibility into our businesses, into our firms that gives us the opportunity at a greater level than ever before to aggressively seek excellence, to see it, to track it, to turn the dials where we need to turn the dials. And that's powerful, right? When you can put together those two things of caring for your people better, but also of being able to see their performance and your performance as a whole, so easily, so at a glance, peer into the places that you need to peer into, see the metrics that you need to see. It allows you to be elite in ways that we really haven't seen before. That, in my opinion, is greatly driven by leadership, by elite leadership, by folks who have had vision. Tell me how it is from the Litify side that you guys decided to put together tech and culture. What were the, and we could add leadership to that as well. Tech, culture, leadership. How did you guys make the conscious decision to say, we want to move forward with all of these things, not just be a tech company?
It's a good question. I think though the answer is actually really simple, right? In order to have excellence, in order to excel, in order to grow, in order to get better, you can't just focus on the bottom line. right? You can't just say we need to make money. It's a fallacy, right? In order to make money, you have to have people who are doing the work, who are happy doing the work, right? You can't just crack a whip and expect things to happen. So in order for us to look around and say we're going to be a successful company, and for us to be successful means our customers are successful, there's a direct correlation. No one wants to use our technology if it's not going to make their firm or their organization, their company better, right? So we only win when they win. In order to do that, we have to focus on the leaders. That's the answer. We have to focus on the leaders. If we can empower the leaders to do a better job of running their organization, and it doesn't mean big brothering people, right? And I think that's a common misconception. People say, well, if you're going to get this and you're going to have all these dials you can turn and all these metrics and all these KPIs, it just means that you're going to look for ways to make me work more and work harder. Well, the answer is no. I think the reality is, the more that the leaders know about the business, the more the leaders know about the people who are working and the work that they are producing, the better they can make it for them. They can make the work easier, they can make the work more rewarding, more fulfilling, and they can be more capable of success, right? So that's how we decided to really focus on leaders. When you look at our partnership with Bessemer, when you look at our product as a whole, it's entirely focused on making sure that the leadership of the organization is capable of doing the best possible job at running the organization. Lawyers
Love
will
it.
do lawyer things. Paralegals will do paralegal things. They're all well trained. Our customers, by and large, have wonderful people who work for them, and they do great work. What is the difference between a successful, Litify firm, if you will, or Litify organization, and a non-Litify organization? Is the focus on the outcome, is how can I understand what the entire business is doing? How can I bring that to my people and empower them to do better work? Don't get lost in the paperwork. Don't get lost in the minutia. Do better work. Look at the metrics. Look at the KPIs that we have and do better work. And we're going to encourage you to do that better work. So I think that's really how I don't want to say we focused on one of those areas, but in order to be successful, it has to come from leadership. It's got to come from the top to empower the leaders to make sure that their people have what they need to do.
Yeah, that is so good, Dov. Not only with that leadership and how that builds itself into excellence, right? All those steps that you've mentioned, but also you guys are big into change. Change is a big part of what you do. You've led change, you've brought change, you've definitely disrupted, right, the legal industry and the tech industry. But when you come into a firm, you are bringing about some change because they may have been on a platform for years. Their firm may be growing already. You guys have grown so much. So change is all around. Some people want to call it disruption for sure, but whatever you want to call it, change, disruption, it's all around. You guys at Litify in some ways have become, maybe out of necessity, change management experts. You guys have led through change. Tell me, have you been good at it the whole time? What have you learned about leading through change? And what are your thoughts on firms that are embarking on lots of changes right now, maybe even changing the entire platform by which they do their work?
Yeah, I love getting described as being an expert at change. Because change is really, really, really hard. It's really hard. Nobody likes to change. Everybody likes to be comfortable. They like to get used to doing things a certain way. Good, bad, or indifferent, people like to be comfortable. So change is really hard. I think the first thing that you likely need to do is accept the fact that you either have to change or accept the fact that you want to change and that it's going to be hard. Recognize the fact that it's going to be hard. In order to deliver that, once you've recognized it's going to be hard, you need to go ahead and focus on your people. Put your people first, right?
Love
Be
that.
intentional about your people. Be intentional about who you work with. I think it's reflected in why we chose to work with Bessemer, because they believed in what we were doing. They wanted to partner with us. It wasn't swoop in and change everything. It was a deliberate partnership. When you're looking at a legal organization, if you're looking at a law firm, right, the managing partner has to partner with the staff, the lawyers and the paralegals. If you're looking at a corporate legal department, the GC has to partner with legal ops, who has to partner with the lawyers to make sure that they're doing things. So focus on your people and be intentional about partnering with them, and then be transparent. Be open about the fact that the change is going to be difficult, It's going to be hard. It's going to require people to quote unquote buy in, right? You're going to have to want to achieve it. And that buy-in is different for every person, right? The average lawyer on the front lines, the reason why they would want to change is going to be very, very different why a leader is going to want to change. Make sure that your people understand how the change affects them and what the benefit is for them. It's going to be hard now. It might be a month, 2, 6, 8, 10 months of hard, whatever it might be. And hard is obviously, take it with a grain of salt. It's varying degrees, but it's going to be uncomfortable for sure. Learning something new, whether it's a new process, a new piece of technology, be transparent about it. Be transparent about why you're making the change, how it affects them, and that you're going to support them, right? So that at the end of the day, there's cost associated with it. That's both dollars cost, that's both human cost, if you will, in terms of putting the work inside. Be transparent about it and let people know that you can see the ROI, right? You can see the end and how it makes them better, not just for the company, right? This is not just the company or the law firm saying, we're going to make more money by doing this, but how it's better for the individual people, how their jobs and their careers can be improved by making that change. If you can draw those bullet points out and deliver them to the staff, then I think what you'd find is change probably isn't so hard. Meaning you're still going to have to do it, but people are going to go into it, dare I say, with a smile, because they're going to know how it affects them for the positive.
I agree. Totally agree. Great stuff. This is one of the reasons that I love this thing we call business, being in industry, because I think the lessons that we can teach or be a part of for our teams, for our people, they are so transferable to life, just to their life in general. What I mean by that is, when you are a part of an organization, when you're a part of a team and it's your job, it's a part of your professional life, and that team, that company experiences change, which we all know, as you said, it's a fact of life, right? You learn skill. If it's done well, if we lead our people through change at the professional level and in companies, or if our job is to help companies that we work with, help lead them through change, then that teaches us and it teaches our team members, right? How do you do change well? Those principles then get adapted. And I don't mean to go too far off the line here in terms of, I know we're talking about industry and ROI, but I love it that this impacts people's real lives or personal lives, right? People then from their experience at working at Litify, at helping law firms launch through change, they then learn, wow, here's how you do change. You plan for it, you exhibit transparency. They're going to take those skills and they're going to apply those skills in their families. They're going to apply some of those skills in their lives. And indirectly, sometimes directly, we have through our business every day, because we've utilized really great skills and processes, best practices, we've helped people enhance their lives. We've helped people improve the way they function, maybe at home, the way they function on a personal level, the way they experience life. I love that. I love that what we do in industry can be an example and can be a template for how to do life better. To me, that's powerful stuff. All right, we're talking about change. We're talking about leadership, talking about culture. There's a lot going on in the legal industry. There's been a lot of growth over the last, let's say, 3, 6, 9 years. AI is taking hold. There's a lot going on there. It's not on the horizon. It is the horizon now. It's disruption. There's a lot of things happening specifically in the legal space as it pertains to remote law firms. So you've got things like Axiom, a legal talent platform that is launching a law firm. EY is spinning off its legal arm as a separate company. Now we see states like Utah, Arizona, with legislation, DC, with legislation where non-lawyers can now have equity, can invest in law firms. So we're seeing this growth. We're seeing this change. It begs the question, though, in your opinion, right now, what's the best business vehicle for the practice of law?
Ooh. Wow. All right. That's a loaded one. So I'll call out some of the things you mentioned first, to I think help give some context here, right? For all those who are listening to this are probably aware, maybe not, probably aware that in order to run a law firm, you have to be a lawyer, really, right? You can't own a law firm if you're not. And I think what we're seeing change over the last probably 2, maybe 3 years, the most change has
Yeah,
been opening up the legal industry to non-lawyers to participate.
yeah, for sure.
Depending on your view on Chicken Little, you might say that the sky is falling for lawyers, right? Because they're now going to be turned into just a commodity. Someone else is going to run the business and they're going to put a lawyer at a desk and say, do this, right? And whereas in the past, the lawyer actually ran the business. I tend to take a little different view. And I think that there's different ways in which you can deliver legal service to different people. And find out what the niche is that you want to deliver, right? In the B2C model, if you're a law firm and you work with direct consumers, plaintiffs, if you will, is the best business model being a law firm that requires you to come into the office and sit with your lawyer to hire them to handle an injury case for you? It's probably not. Nothing in the world today works that way, literally nothing. So even doctors don't work that way. You don't necessarily have to go to a doctor's office anymore to meet
Nope.
with a doctor, right? If your lawyer is going to insist on that visit, that consultation to come in, that's probably not the best vehicle for practicing law. Conversely, is the best vehicle practicing law over a Zoom? I don't know. But I don't know whether the world has gotten to that point yet, but there's definitely a hybrid and trending more towards doing it over a Zoom, by the way, for sure, that I think people need to recognize. So when we talk about the best vehicle for practicing law, I like to break it out where you need to go ahead and make sure that you are bringing the work to the people where they're expecting it, right? So, and that speaks to some of the efficiency that needs to be delivered to the legal industry, right? So if you're a corporate legal organization, you're likely spread out. You're likely have people in different offices all around the world. Same thing with a large law firm. How can you bring those people together? The best vehicle, I think, if you're going to just sort of dial it back to your question, the best vehicle for practicing law is one in which your clients are going to have the best experience working with you. And I think the answer is different based on the industry, but it is definitely one that is focused on efficiency, cutting out some of the unnecessary fluff, cutting out some of the unnecessary rules and regulations and red tape towards working with people, bringing it to them, whether it's Axiom's platform, whether it's using AI to better suggest something that someone might want to do, whether it's bringing in non-lawyers to help you run a better business, whether it's investing in just technology in general to communicate better. The best vehicle for practicing law is one that drives higher customer satisfaction by a way of efficiency. If you are going to focus on that by a happier client, by dealing with them in a more efficient manner, you will deliver the best product to them. You don't even necessarily have to have the best lawyers, by the way. Now, maybe a little secret there. You have to have the best people, right? And that brings it back to the culture leadership we talked about. If you have the best people that are working for you, they may not be the world's greatest lawyers, but the best people with a process focused on efficiency and communication, that will be the best vehicle for the practice of law.
Amen to that, Dov. I love how you wrap that up. With that efficiency, you drive higher levels of customer satisfaction. At the end of the day, it's still a people business, right? And with the amazing technology that we have, and as it continues to double and triple, we grow so fast in our abilities through technology. But what we're doing is coming up with better ways to drive customer satisfaction. We're coming up with better ways to help the client get where they need to go, where they want to go faster, in a more convenient way for them to get the results that they need. So even in the, in the space that I'm in with personal injury on the plaintiff side, personal injury law, the fact that we have the ability now to work with a client from whatever capacity is most convenient for them. If they need to contact us from a hospital room, if they need to carry out 98, maybe 100% of their communication with us via Zoom or in some other capacity and never walk into an office, we can provide that. We can give them what they need. We can provide the service. We can for the most part, do all of the things within the scope of their case. Most every bit of that can be done remotely at a distance. And in some ways, this is a transition for the client. For some clients that want that direct interpersonal contact, they want to walk up and shake hands with their team, with their lawyer, with their paralegal. But so many, as you said, so many things in their lives are already moving towards a high efficiency, high communication level that's not in person, that being able to provide that, something as important at that moment of need where they say, I'm hurt, I've got a very difficult situation, I need help right now, and I may need help in a way that I can't come into an office. Being able to produce that and give that to the client it puts us over the top. It gives us an advantage, an opportunity to be able to care for people in a much higher way, or in a much better way. When you combine that with also, as you said, great people, not just great lawyers, but great people, when you can also reach across oceans, when you can reach across the country, and I'm an in-person guy, everybody that knows me, and I love being able to connect with my team in person. But the reality is, when you can grab talent, when you can get those great people that are not just in your local area, not just within driving distance of your office, but great talent, great people, and you can leverage the skills, the natural abilities that they have and put them together on a team, then you create that great team, you love that team, you push them forward, they serve clients, and you're talking about a level of experience for that client, a level of service, a level of excellence that's tough to match. And we wouldn't be able to do that without the level of technology that we have right now. And it's only going to get better. That, in large part, we owe a great deal of thanks in our industry to people like you, Dov, to Litify, the folks that understand the power of technology, not just to do work better, but to help people, to care for people, the people that work with us, the people that work for us, and the people we work for, meaning the client, the customers. So thank you, Dov, for everything that you guys have done. I want to give you the last word, the last shot. Well, I take that back. I'm not going to give you the last word, Dov, because I have to say these things at the end because of being now, a podcaster. I have to close it out. But give us some last thoughts. We've enjoyed having you.
I appreciate it, Bill. I've certainly enjoyed being here, and I will give you the last word, of course. I think the last comment I'd make is just to sort of tie everything all together from that culture, that leadership standpoint. Technology, like you said, is great at helping you do more work, right? We were doing more work now. It's funny when you look back at the ways in which technology was first thought of in like the 50s and the 60s, right? You assume that we would be like the Jetsons. You'd be flying a car, you'd be living at home, working from not barely working. And in truth, we work more than we ever have. People, though, I think work more than they have. There's money reasons, but my hope is that a lot of people are working more because they actually enjoy what they do.
Love it.
And technology plays a large role in making sure that you can get enjoyment out of what you do. It's the focus here at Litify, or we like to call breaking down legal silos, right? So within an organization, how can we make sure that all the various different parts work together? That speaks to culture, it speaks to leadership, and the end result is a better product for the client, a better product for the customer. That customer could be an internal department that you're working with, providing legal services to them. It could be someone external, like a client who was hurt in an accident. But regardless, breaking down those silos, ensuring better communication, and using technology to collaborate, that's how you actually produce better. So I'll end with that. And I appreciate you putting this show together, Bill. I think it's great to have this focus on culture and leadership that you bring. So thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.
Thanks so much for being here, Dov. Incredible words, incredible insight as always. What a tremendous guy, and what a tremendous thing that you guys are doing at Litify. Folks, we're excited about this season. We can't top Dov, but I tell you what, we're going to have some great guests. We're going to have guys like Seth Bader out of Atlanta, just a tremendous leader, incredible guy. Ben Glass, a legend in this industry, efforting to get Mark Lanier involved. Keith Mitnick, Also going to have some guests from the leadership sector. Merrill Hodge used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has now got an incredible message. A cancer survivor, has now taken this message into the leadership realm. We have got so much good stuff on tap for you, and some exciting surprises as well here at Transforming the Culture of Law. Everybody, thank you for listening. Be sure not to miss an episode. Subscribe to Transforming the Culture of Law on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or at litify.com/culture of law. Guys, we'll see you next time. Appreciate you.